Alright, this video will show the features of the SARTopo Address tool. This is as of the end of March 2020. So some features will be changing. This is just showing what it has right now. Also right now it only works in SARTopo offline. Some background updates will allow it to work on SARTopo online as well pretty soon here. So right now we're starting with just a saved map in SARTopo offline, as you can see by the URL up here. We're going to go ahead and start up the program. What happens is it pops up a couple of windows here that are going to stay in the foreground. They're going to stay on top of other windows. That's on purpose, so you can always get to them. First time you run it, it pops up this options window as well, and this is just what you get to by hitting the little gear picture here. So the options window, first thing it's asking you is for the URL of the saved map. That's how it creates the link between this program and the map. So I'm just going to Control-C to copy out of that address and Control-V to paste it in there. And then when I hit enter or tab out of that field tab, this little green light comes on showing you that the link is established. And also in the main window here, the green light comes on with the actual last few characters of the web address to show you the link is active. If that were to turn red or something, then you would know the link is not working at the moment. So back in the options window, another thing it asks you is only list existing labels from what folder. So you can we'll show you that in a minute, but that's useful when you're editing existing markers. This field down here, it's asking you where is the data for the addresses, the file that links the addresses with their latitude, longitude. This shouldn't need changing. It remembers this from the previous time you ran the program. If you ever need to change that or browse for a different file, you can do that there. And if you ever just need to reload it, in case you think something's gone wrong, that's the picture for reloading it. So I'll put the options window aside for a minute. You can just close it here or with the X, either way is fine. So first thing you notice here is it's asking you to put in an address. This is a little autocomplete field, so as you type it'll show you the list of things that match what you've typed so far. So you can see that happening right here. Wow, there's a lot of options for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyway, you can click one of these when you find the one that you want. And after you put in the address, you can tell it's found something by the fact that latitude and longitude show up here. If you need to blank that out and start typing something new, you can always, of course, select everything and backspace, or you can hit this little X right here. That blanks everything out for you quickly if you want to be a little faster to type something new. So let's go back to an address again, and it's found something. Now the next thing it's going to ask you for is mode. The question is, do you want to be adding a new marker, or do you want to be moving an existing marker? Show add first. If you select add, it's going to ask you from this list that we can expand this list however we need to, add more markers. But these are the different icons that already exist with SARTopo. So let's say we want to do that one. What we're wanting to do here is add one of those markers at this address we've typed in, and notice it's not actually going to take an action until you hit the go button. Of course, SARTopo always takes a few seconds to update, so you should see that showing up here in a few seconds. And there we go. That's way down here. So notice it made a new folder in your left bar called addresses. And if we zoom all the way in there, notice we're using the county base map layer, Nevada County base map layer. It showed up right in the middle of that address right there, 123 Buckingham. So if you were to add another, like something close by in Grass Valley, and add a different marker for that, and then hit go. Notice it already knows that the addresses folder has been made. It's going to put it in that same folder. There it is. So now for the interesting part during evacuations, let's say we want to move existing markers. Notice here on my left bar I already have the folders evac leaving and deputies, and I already have a couple of officers listed in the deputies field. So let me show you in the options menu this select the folder. This is where this comes into play. If you select all, if you want to move an existing marker, when it asks you what marker do you want to move, you don't necessarily want to see all the markers from all the folders. This allows you to only show markers from one of these folders. And this list here is real-time updated, meaning, let's say you add another folder for some reason, just call it that. Then whenever you hit this pull down here to see what folder you want to filter on, notice it checks real time. So that new folder is listed there. So let's say we want to only see the one from deputies. That's going to be a normal operation during evac. Close that again. And let's say we type in a new address here. Already used that. Let's do something a little better in Grass Valley. I'm going to change our mode to move existing marker, and it's going to ask you, it doesn't let you hit go yet until you select one of the existing markers from that folder that you told it to only show the markers from that folder. So it's not showing the 123 Buckingham, it's not showing the 234 Colfax, it's not showing the evac leaving. So that's good, right? So select one of those that we want to move, and it's asking you to put in a timestamp here. What time did the radio call come in? It defaults to the time that you selected 1 Paul 33, and when you change your selection of what marker you want to move, it'll update the time for you. If you don't want to do a timestamp at all, you just uncheck that guy. So you just updated to 0806. So let's say we do want to add that timestamp for 1 Paul 33. Right now he's over here with an old timestamp from last night. So that's all your selections are good. You've selected your address, you've selected move, and you've selected who you want to move and what their timestamp is. So then you hit go, and again it takes a few seconds to update. Notice his timestamp updated here, 0806, and just for reference right now that timestamp is saved in the comments field, and he updated his location. There he is. So 235 Harper. Now this puts the marker right at the center of the property, which doesn't always make sense. Let's say the officer is on the street at the mailbox for 235 Harper. We could either work on figuring that out later, so it moves the marker to the street nearest, or we could just use it as is. Something to figure out later. Anyway, and this list of what markers to update is also updated real time. So let's say we add another deputy has come into play now. Adding another deputy. It looks like that. And you just add them wherever I right clicked. So now let's say I want to move, let's see, 222 Bennett. Okay, let's say I want to move, look, 1 Sam 2 is in the list. There you go. Oh, I already had a 1 Sam 2. Whoops. So move that 1 Sam 2 to 235 Harper and use off the screen a little bit. There we go. Yeah, avoid having 2 deputies of the same name. That's probably not a good idea. Anyway, that shows the features of the address tool.